Hey student, watch this video and learn about simple past mistakes you're probably making. Coming up. Hey friends, Teacher Prix here to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Thank you so much for joining me live if you are watching the live lesson. If you are watching the replay, well, thank you so much. You are awesome too. And hey, Instagram, thank you so much for watching and for watching the replay as well. You guys rock. I always get excited about making videos for you guys and making live lessons, so it's always exciting. So let's dive into the content because I have a lot of stuff to share with you tonight. So let's cut to the chase. And if you are watching here on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button because it really helps, okay? Are there baby sardines? I see Rosangela, baby sardine. Hello. Are there baby sardines here on YouTube? Tell me, I'm a baby sardine from the academy because then I know. Okay, so simple past mistakes. Guys, simple past is a very important structure, okay? And it's something that no matter how good your English is, no matter what your level is, you will always need to review. You will always need to spend some time studying, okay? As I have been sharing with you, for the past year, I've been studying Italian and I'm always reviewing the tenses. And simple past is one thing that I am always studying again because I know of the importance of using simple past in conversations, in everyday conversations, whether it is, for job, for work-related conversations or for casual conversations, okay? So, Elma, hello, my babies. Elio, José, thank you for joining. You guys are awesome. Now, my friends, here, before I talk to you guys about the mistakes, I'm going to be doing a quick review, okay? Now, if you want a longer lesson about simple past, I have lessons here on my channel about simple past, okay? But here, I'm going to review some important concepts. So, if you think that I'm going too fast, it's because it's a review. This part of the explanation of what simple past is more like a review, okay? But if you have questions about simple past, let me know here in the comments or in the chat, and I can come here and make a video more slowly talking about simple past. Hello, Cesar. Thanks for joining. And Maria Guadalupe. Very nice. I have to say Guadalupe with an accent. Very nice, my friends. Anyway, now simple past, okay? I will talk about the past. That's obvious, and I know you know. Congratulations. In the past, we need to change the form of the verb, okay? So we have two kinds of verbs in the past. We have regular verbs and we have irregular verbs. When we are describing things in the past, we need verbs, we need actions. Go, sleep, drink, buy, travel. And these actions, they need to be changed into a different way, a different spelling and pronunciation. Now, when we do that, we have two possibilities. Or my verb will be regular or irregular. If my verb is regular, that's a good thing because it's easier. You will add ed or ied. So travel, for example, is regular, traveled. Need is regular, needed. Want is regular, wanted. And then we have the irregular verbs. Irregular verbs change completely in the past. Either the spelling and pronunciation change or just the pronunciation will change. For example, buy, to buy, bought. Run, ran. Let's see, eat, ate. So if you have problems remembering past conjugations, I recommend to start studying a small list, a short list with everyday verbs, okay? And usually when I am teaching simple past to my beginners, to basic students, to my private students, I tell them to make a list based on verbs they believe are important for them. So if you believe the verb run is important to you, then you have to study the past of the verb run. To run is important to me, okay? Because I like to run. I run 4 times a week. So when I describe my day, I can say I ran yesterday because I did that activity. So think of the verbs that are important to you. And that's how you start your list, okay? Now, affirmative sentences. We have three types of sentences: affirmative, negative, questions, okay? When we're talking in the past, we can make affirmative sentences, we can make negative sentences, and we can make questions. Affirmative, negative, questions, okay? Now, when I make affirmative sentences, for example, in the present, I like soccer, I drink water, I visit my friends on Sundays. This is an affirmative sentence. If I do that in the past, that's when I have to change my verb, okay? So in the past tense, my verb changes, okay? So I had a burger for lunch. I know, I'm embarrassed. I should have eaten healthy food, but I ate a burger, a delicious burger and French fries. I'm weak, I'm not strong. Did you have a burger for lunch? No? Well, anyway, so if I make an affirmative sentence, my verb changes, okay? I went to London last week. No, I didn't. But I visited, that's true, I visited my parents last weekend. That is true, okay? So because I am making an affirmative sentence, my verb changes. The main verb of the sentence will need to change. Change to what? To the past conjugation, or regular or irregular, okay? Now, we also have negative sentences. Here, there's a catch, and I will talk about some observations here, okay? In negative sentences, you will need to use your verb in the base form. So the verb in a negative sentence in the past goes back to normal. And you also need the word didn't. I didn't. That is not true. I didn't go to London last weekend because the pound is too expensive and we can't travel in Brazil. We can't go anywhere because of that virus, that lockdown, quarantine thing. We can't travel. So I visited my parents, but I didn't go to London. I didn't go anywhere different, okay? I just went to my parents' house. So here I have to use didn't or did not. And after that, the verb. I didn't eat. I didn't have breakfast this morning. I didn't run this morning. These are all true examples. I didn't have breakfast and I didn't run today. This was not a very healthy day. But I did yoga. Yeah, I did yoga. That's fun. Okay? So when you're making negative sentences, 2 important things. The verb goes back to base form. No more conjugation. No, goodbye. And you need the word didn't to make your negation, to make a negative sentence, okay? I didn't work last night, all right? Now, there are exceptions to this rule, and I will explain. Stay tuned, okay? I know you're thinking, but how about verb to be? Yeah, we'll talk about that. Don't worry. Questions. In questions, the verb will also be in the base form, okay? So no changing again. So if you think about it, if you pay attention, you only change the verb form in an affirmative sentence. In a question or in a negative sentence, you don't, okay? You don't change the verb. So when I ask a question in the past form, I will say did. I need the word did. Then I have my subject. Did you? Did your friend? Did the car? Did the student? Did the park? Did this video? The subject. You need a subject. Then you need a verb, okay? And this verb is in the base form. No change. Did you watch my video this morning? I don't know. Did you see the game last weekend? Okay, did you see the game? Did you watch the game last weekend? Did you have breakfast this morning? Okay, so that is important. So you use did, then the subject, then the verb, and the verb is in the base form. Now, I have a playlist on my channel where I talk about the sequence when you're asking questions in English, okay? And here, I asked a very basic question, a yes or no question. Did you? Did you go out this morning? Did you finish your homework? Did you? Because it's yes or no, yes or no. If you want to ask a question about explanation, why, where, people, who, when, you can. You put it at the beginning. When did you first see me on YouTube? Why did you? And then you continue, okay? But here, remember, it's a review. If you want me to make a video just to talk about sequence of questions, let me know, all right? Now, to the exceptions, to the special ones. To be or not to be? It is the question we all have. What do we do about verb to be? Chill, it's easy. Verb to be is independent, okay? It's free. Like a bee. So, when you use verb to be in the past form, you always change affirmative, negative, questions anytime in the past. Okay? So you always change, okay? You always change verb to be in the past. Verb to be in the present, am, is, are. Verb to be in the past, was, were. I have one entire video just talking about verb to be in the past. Only verb to be. So if you Google here, verb to be in the past, teacher Prix, you will find this lesson about verb to be in the past. So the two possible conjugations, the two possible forms of verb to be in the past are was, were. And you are going to use this in affirmative, in question. And in the negative form, you will say was and not, wasn't. If you don't want to contract, was not. If you want to contract, wasn't, okay? And the other form of the verb to be in the past, were. If you want to contract, weren't, the negative. If you don't want to contract, were not, okay? Oh, but teacher, Americans only contract. Okay, that's good. So contract. Do that too. All right, good for you. So you can do that. Another verb that is really independent in the past is the modal verb can. So can in the past is could, C-O-U-L-D, could. And you will use could in affirmative, in negative, in questions, anytime in the past, okay? So you can make questions with could. You can make affirmative sentences with could. You can make negative sentences with could. The negative form is could is could plus not. Could not. If you contract, couldn't, okay? You have both options, all right? So here with could and verb to be, you don't use didn't. You don't use did. You always change was, were, or could, okay? So that is very, very important. Now, baby sardines question! My baby sardines are the sardines of my online English program, the Real English Academy. And inside our private group, I always tell them, hey guys, do you have any questions about this, blah, blah, blah. So they asked me some questions. So here we have a question from Denise. Why is it so common among Brazilian students, including me? To use the simple past instead of the present perfect. Okay, that's a good question, baby sardine, but I'm sorry to tell you, it's not a thing of Brazilian people. It's a thing of students, English students, okay? Now, do you want to know a story where about get, okay? This happened to me, I think 14 years ago. No, 13 years ago. I was a teacher already, and there was a situation with the verb get. So if you want to know the story, let's see how many likes I have here on YouTube. I have 39 likes. That is so sad. Let's get this to 55. If I get to 55 likes on YouTube, I'll tell you the story of get. Do you want to know the story of get? If you don't want to know the story of get, it's okay. So if I get to 55 likes, I'll tell you the story of get. And if I don't get it here, that's okay. I'll tell you on another day, another life, another planet. But answering this baby sardines question, first of all, as I said, it's not about Brazilian people. It's about people in general, okay? The present perfect may not be a very clear structure to students. And here is also connected to the habits, okay? And the habit that you established when studying simple past. Because simple past is the first structure you learn way before present perfect, we end up using simple past more easily. And why is that? Probably because you spent a long time practicing simple past, studying simple past, doing exercises of simple past, trying to use simple past. And when you learn present perfect, you don't spend half of the time learning present perfect, practicing present perfect, reviewing present perfect, trying to use present perfect. So it is really a problem of habit and the way you study present perfect, and not just the way you study, but the way you try to implement present perfect in your life. Because the truth is that you can use present perfect. You will not use present perfect as much as simple past. Another thing that we have to debunk here, okay? Present perfect is important. Native speakers use, but you will always use simple past way more, okay? Especially because we human beings have a tendency to be very specific when we're talking about the past. And when we use present perfect, we can't be so specific. We can't say yesterday, last year, a goal. This is the number one thing. We can't use specific time expressions. And in many conversations, that is exactly what we want to do. Okay, so this is a problem of a mentality, okay? If you want to use present perfect more, you have to practice present perfect way more, okay? And taking into consideration that there are some limitations of present perfect. I have a video here on my channel where I talk about 5 situations when you should use present perfect. You shouldn't use simple past. Well, you can, but it is much better to study present perfect. So in this video, I show you 5 situations. So what should you do with these 5 situations? You should practice them. You should study them. And you should try to create your examples. And every time you have an opportunity to record your voice speaking in English or do something in English, you have to think, oh, okay, how can I include present perfect here instead of the past? Okay? And that way, you will gradually establish the habit of using present perfect because simple past is easier. Of course it is. You spent way more time studying and dedicating your energy to simple past. So present perfect is relevant, but you will need to do the work if you want to get at a better level. And watching and using present perfect in specific situations. I think I like to use present perfect strategically because you can't use it all the time the way we imagine, like, oh, we use present perfect, we use simple past all the time, so shouldn't we use present perfect all the time? And the answer is no. We don't use present perfect all the time because we are, in many conversations, we are very specific. And that doesn't work very well with present perfect. Whenever you are very specific, and when I say specific, you are talking about, I'm talking about dates, yesterday, last week, last month, last year, and I can't do that with present perfect. I can't be so specific with present perfect, okay? So I hope this answers your question, baby sardine. 3 more likes. I need to get to 55. I have 52 likes, so there's still time. I will go back to the story of get, okay? But I need 3 more likes. If you are watching on Instagram, these likes, they count here on YouTube. Come to YouTube, hit like, and then you go back to Instagram, okay? Now, my friends, let me know when we reach 55 likes. Now, my friends, common mistakes, which are the common mistakes are actually the main subject of this lesson. How about when I'm using present perfect and continuous? Completely different lesson, my friend. These are very different things. I can make a video talking more about that, but the focus here is simple past. Really simple past. And the students, they get so caught up in present perfect and present perfect continuous that they are so important, they are so relevant, but the frequency you're going to use these guys is low, okay? So of course you will use, and I really defend using present perfect and present perfect continuous, but here I'm talking about the foundation of English. Let's work on improving your past, okay? You master past, you become like, yo, good at that. Then you can learn more complicated tenses. Okay, we got 59 likes, so I can talk about it. I can talk about the story of get. Now, this is to help you understand the importance of habit, the importance of making it a task, okay? So if you want to improve present perfect, if you want to use more present perfect, you gotta do the job, okay? Now, when I was, I'm not good at remembering dates and numbers, but I was already a teacher, a young teacher. I was about 19 years old, and I worked at a school. I went to the school, I had groups, I had students. It was amazing. Today I have private students, but my focus is my online program, the academy, the Real English Academy. But at that time, I was a teacher at a school. And our coordinator, my boss, okay, his vocabulary was spectacular. He was out of this world, okay? The man was perfect. He had never traveled abroad, okay? Never traveled abroad. His English was amazing, okay? I looked up to him so much because he was brilliant. And one day, because at school, this coordinator asked us to speak English all the time. Even in our free time, he wanted us to speak English, to be an example to the students, and he was right. One day, he started to listen my conversation with my friend. And he looked at me and said, wow, don't you have another word? Do you need to use get and get and get and get and get? I'm laughing, but at the time he said that, I was so embarrassed. Because there I was with the person I admired, and he was like, get, 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 get. Don't you have another word? Fine. So he said, guys, you need to use other words. And then my first explanation was, but it's so difficult. I can't think of another word because get is easy. We use get all the time. I didn't learn other words. And then he said, well, you didn't learn other words because you didn't study other words and you didn't practice the other words. The moment you decide to establish a study routine that forces you to get out of your comfort zone, you're going to learn other possibilities. And I started to think, and on that week we had a teacher's meeting. and he gave us a challenge. And that challenge was to reduce how often we used the word get. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the word get. And today that I am older and I am more mature, I love his strategy. He was absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with the word get. But at that time, I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I needed to explore different words and learn new things. But because I thought, well, get is so easy. Yeah. I was not doing that, okay? And here I am talking about this as a teacher, not necessarily as a student, okay? It was my professional experience. I wanted to be better, to help other students. So I thought, wow, he's right. And we accepted the challenge and we started to study. And we started to practice, and I started to write down the same strategies that I teach my students in the academy, the strategies that I share here with you guys. I worked on them. I started applying. I started practicing and studying and writing examples and creating examples, exploring different words. And after the challenge was over, I realized that there's nothing you can't do. It's only that you have to accept that you will need to do the work. And the work sometimes is a little annoying. I get it, because get is so awesome. I have a video here on my channel where I teach you 7 different meanings of get. Because get is cool. As someone said here, get is cool. And I agree with you. Now, in the real world, let me make a big disclaimer here. When you are in the real world, it's not about being pretty, using the most beautiful words. No, it's about being able to communicate your ideas, okay? So don't understand this story as, oh, my vocabulary is basic. No, understand that this is what I do in the real world, okay? I will do what I can do. But when I am practicing, it is a good idea to try to explore, because at some point I will begin to use what I am studying and practicing. But this moment of practice and repetition needs to happen consistently, continuously. Otherwise, you may always feel that you're not going anywhere, that you're not moving forward, okay? The same thing happens to phrasal verbs, collocations, expressions. It doesn't mean you're going to use all of them, but it'll make you a better listener. You will understand more conversations in English. It's not about only using the words, but understanding them, okay? So I hope this story inspires you to do the work too, okay? And by practicing, I'm sure that the present perfect use will change. You will use more present perfect. Now, common mistake number 1. Using didn't, the negative didn't, plus verb to be was. Didn't was. I didn't was. No, okay? As I explained to you guys, the negative form of verb to be is wasn't, okay? As I told you, verb to be is an exception, is special, all right? This verb doesn't need didn't, doesn't need don't. It is independent. I ate too much. Now I'm burping. I feel my burger. I'm sorry. So the negative form of was is wasn't. So when you study, and this may confuse the students, because when they start studying simple past, they learn that the negative form always uses didn't. But then when you see verb to be, wasn't, was not. Well, why? Didn't is the past. No. For verb to be and could, you will not use didn't. The negative form of could in the past is could not or couldn't. The negative form of verb to be in the past is was not or wasn't, or the other conjugation were not or weren't. These are the verbs that are exception to the rule, okay? With the other verbs, you're going to use didn't, okay? Now, common mistake 2, past plus past. I will explain. This is not past perfect. It's a different past. Sometimes students are making sentences and they say, Oh, teacher, I tried to study it. Two verbs in the past. What is the problem here? You cannot do that. I tried to eat, okay? Using eat in the past. I wanted, simple past. I wanted to went, the past of go. No, you don't. This doesn't work, okay? Why not? There is an explanation, okay? In English, when you have two verbs together, two verbs in a sentence, because it's possible, okay? In many situations. If the second verb, verb number 2, is not a separate action, an individual separate action from the first, you cannot change because it's a complement to the first. So if the second verb is completing the idea of the first verb, you only change the first. This happens a lot with the verbs try, want, continue, because usually when you say these verbs, you will need another verb to explain what you tried. I tried to do my homework. To do is completing I tried. It is what you tried. So to do is a complement of try. In that case, because it's a complement, not a separate action, you don't change, okay? You only change the first. There are some situations when you have 2, 3 verbs and you change, but they are separate actions. They are not connected. They are not completing each other. For example, this morning I got up around 6 a.m. Then I took a shower, got dressed, had breakfast, listened to music, read a book. Then I started to work. Okay, so I started to work. I cannot change because work is completing start. But the other actions describing what I did in the morning, I got up, took a shower, brushed my teeth, got dressed, had breakfast, read some emails, called my mom. They are separate. They are not together. They are not they are connected because I am giving a sequence, but it's not completing. It's not a complement of the first verb because there isn't a first. There's a first, second, third, fourth, but I understand the sequence of actions. So pay attention, okay? Clardice, another baby sardines. Elma, the lesson about get is here on YouTube. And if you put different uses of get, teacher Prix, because me, right? Then you will find, so different uses of get, teacher Prix. You will find the lesson, okay? Very well. So when the second verb is complementing the first, it doesn't change. I wanted to buy a Porsche, but I don't have money. I wanted to eat healthy food, but unfortunately, I couldn't. I ate a burger because I was not strong enough. See, all past. Okay, all past. So here, I wanted to eat, but I didn't. I couldn't. I couldn't eat healthy food today. I couldn't be healthy today, okay? Oh, another thing. I couldn't be. It's possible to use verb to be, without saying am, is, are, okay? I couldn't be healthy today because, I don't know, I couldn't be a healthy woman today. I ate a burger and fries. Lots of fries. Anyway, my friends, if you're enjoying this lesson, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and keep watching. Now, another baby sardines question. Vinicius from the Real English Academy. My babies. Teacher Prix, what's the past form of I am going to? All right, first and foremost, be plus going to is future, okay? Let's make that very clear. You use be plus going to when you are going to do something in the future. You will do something in the future. You are showing a decision, a plan, okay? I have a lesson, another lesson here on my channel where I talk about be plus going to, okay? Hello, Victor, another baby. You know, this afternoon I was eating my burger and I was watching a TV show episode, and then the woman, her daughter died, and she looked at the daughter and she said, my baby, my baby, my baby. And I I started to think of my students, my babies, my babies. That's how I feel when you translate. I feel like I am dying, okay? Anyway. Now, guys, as I said, I have videos here on my channel where I describe be plus going to as future, okay? Now, be plus going to is used to talk about future plans, decisions, so keep that in mind. That being said, it is possible to use a similar structure in the past form, but now I am not talking about future. I am describing something that I wanted to do, that I intended to do, but for some reason I couldn't, okay? It was my intention to do, but I didn't do it, okay? Because something happened, maybe I changed my plans. So here I have two examples. I was going to move to another country, but my parents convinced me to stay. So here I was going to move. I had intentions, I had plans of moving to another country in the future. But something happened. My parents convinced me to stay. This is just an example, it's not true, okay? Example, I'm not moving. Next example. Oh, I was going to call you. I forgot to write you here on this slide. I was going to call you, but I completely forgot. I am so sorry. So I had intentions. I planned to call you, okay? But unfortunately, my memory didn't help me. I forgot. Sorry. Okay? So it's different, okay, Vinicius? I am going indicates a future plan, something that I want to do, that I'm going to do, that I have decided to do. And when I say I was going to do, it is different, okay? So keep that in mind. It's something that I intended to do, something I wanted to do, but didn't happen, okay? All right, Wagner, another sardine. Vitor, these sardines are awesome. So baby sardines, don't make me go into drama mode. My babies, my babies, my babies are translating. Don't make me do that. All right, moving on. Mistake number 3. Using verb to be and another verb, but you only use verb to be in the past. Teacher, I was do, I was go. My friend was like, I was go, I was buy. No, okay? When you do that, you will confuse your listener, okay? Actually, before this lesson, I was talking to my student and she was asking me, but when do I use verb to be? Well, you use verb to be when you need verb to be. When verb to be is the main course of your dinner. When verb to be is the verb that you need. The main verb. I was tired this morning. So I didn't go out for a run because I was tired. So here I was tired. There's no other verb. Tired is an adjective. Now here what students do is they think they are using past. I was by, I was right, I was run, and you can't do that, okay? Now there is a difference between past and past continuous. I also have a video on my channel, probably, talking about that. But they are different things. When you are making a sentence in the past form, you change the verb. So if you need the verb do, that's the verb you change. Goodbye to be, bye be, bye-bye. Goodbye verb to be. I did my homework. That's it. No to be. Because it's not the verb you need. I bought a new dress. You don't need verb to be. Students sometimes say, I was by a new dress. Forget was. Change by. By is the verb that is necessary for this phrase. I bought a dress. Okay? And if you are curious about... I was busy doing something. You can say that. It's correct. But here, you are using past continuous. That's what I said. It is different. Okay? Now, guys, if you're curious about the show I was watching, is The 100. I'm watching season 7. It's the last season, the final season. It was so dramatic today. I think I'm going to watch this show again tonight. I'm going to watch this episode again because it was so emotional when Clark started saying, my baby, my baby. I was like, oh my God, they killed her child? That is so horrible. It was a very emotional episode. Very, very good show. Really mind-blowing show. I recommend you guys do it. The 100, okay? The article the, and then the number 100, the 100. Awesome, awesome show. I think it is on Netflix, but I'm not sure, okay? I'm not sure. Now, be careful with mistake number 3. And last mistake, mistake number 3, and then we continue. Mistake number 3, okay? This is mistake number 4. Mistake number 4. When sometimes the students use was, verb to be was, and the verb go. The past of go is went, okay? So verb to be was and verb go in the past went. They use these words as if they were the same thing. They are not the same thing. The verb to be doesn't indicate movement, okay? Only the verb go does that. And in the past, went. So, I went to the movies last night. So this means that, goodbye. I moved, I walked, or I drove a car, or I took an Uber. You know, I moved to the direction of the movie theater. I went. But if I call my friend and I say, oh, I was at the movie theater last night, I am not saying that I went, that I moved my body. I'm just describing a place where I stayed for a certain period of time. So there is a difference, okay? You can use was to describe the location you were present at a certain time. So this is important. You can use was to describe a location where you were present at a certain time. You cannot use was to indicate the movement that you had to make to get to that place. Okay? So this is a mistake many students make. Okay? Emma says, mistake number 3 is the name of an old song from Culture Club. Now, songs are a free arena, okay? Songs will have all kinds of English mistakes because it's art. So it is very difficult to analyze a song, okay? So every time we have a song, when we're talking about music, the rules change. The rules change completely, okay? So as I was saying, I was to the movies? No, okay? I went to the movies. If you want to use was, I am just indicating the place where I was present at a certain time. For example, I was at my parents' house last weekend. I'm indicating the place where I was present, not that I went. If I want to indicate this, imagine these are my legs. I went to my parents' house last weekend. Okay? So that is, I went to see my parents. Awesome. Very good. All right, my friends. Other than that, I want to say thank you. You guys are amazing. My babies are amazing. Now, every time I think of the word babies, I will remember the actress. My baby. She was so sad. It was so dramatic. My babies, my baby. And I was like, oh, my babies from the academy. They can't do that to me. So now Elma just checked 100. The 100 is on Netflix. So check it out, okay? And remember, my babies, don't translate. Other than that, thank you so much. And I'll see you next week. Next week, there are many good things coming. So stay tuned. Thank you so much, my friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.